Awesome. Welcome everyone to Core Devs Call 35. Today we'll be talking about some CIP updates and the V4 upgrade. So without further ado, we'll go to the agenda. We're going to start with working groups updates. I didn't collect any before. I'm curious though if there's any updates here from either DA interface or ZK working groups. I think we're mostly focused on V4, so I will take the silence as a no, and we'll jump straight to CIP updates. I guess first thing we can talk about is uh, the newest CIP, which is CIP 39. Manav,
Yes.
I'm wondering if there's anything that we didn't talk about last time that you'd like to go over. I think this was not really edited too much before it was merged.
Yeah, this has been moved to review, and
Ah,
there's already a PR that I merged in Celestia app that implements this as well.
cool. Sweet. Um, yeah, I guess I'm misreading my own notes. So yeah, this was moved into review and PR 328. We've also moved CIP 34 to last call, which is setting the pruning window to 7 days plus 1 hour. The last call deadline is the 28th, so we'll be able to move that to final status after then, assuming there's no more changes. I think by the time we have our next meeting, we can move CIP 39 to review and CIP 36 has also been moved to last call. And this is to lower the trusting period to 7 days. So those two, CIP 34 requires 36. So those two are kind of tied together. And yeah, that's about it for updates with those. We also had an amendment to CIP 38, which I actually think this is one we should open a discussion about, where we're also, in addition to increasing the block size, I think was the original way this was, we're going to be also increasing the max transaction size. I think Callum worked mostly on this along with Evan, so I was hoping you could give us a little bit of a overview of that and what it really means for the network.
Yeah, I think Rashid also worked on the testing here. So I guess are you specifically talking about like the transaction size increase?
Yeah, I think that was what changed since the last meeting, right?
Yeah, I guess what
Yeah.
brought that on was that that's something that users have been concerned about, and like it's something we've had our eyes on as well. We don't want it to be a developer concern to handle chunking their larger blobs into small 2 MB blobs. But this was just a matter of being able to like test whether 8 MB blobs could handle without too much degradation to the network. And so Rashid's been doing some testing there. And given that things look good, we've decided to also increase the transaction size to 8 MB.
Awesome. And I think in the past that was just like a precaution because we hadn't really done testing on whether or not larger transactions would cause
Yeah,
bottlenecks.
yeah, exactly.
Um, so yeah, I'm sure the people who have been trying to work around that will be really excited for this. Are there any questions around this? I know there was a little bit of chat on Slack. I'm curious if anyone, I guess, has any reasons that we shouldn't include this.
One of the reasons was that it might slow down, like make FPSS harder to implement. But the counter argument to that is that uh, when the blocks then do go faster, you can like it will still fit inside the 8 MB. So there is no issue in that. and there might be at some point a breaking change to reduce the max blob size again from, I don't know what kind of size it will be at that point, back to some smaller size. So it should be like this. It could change back down. That's what I'm saying, in some future. So this is not really a saying we shouldn't do this, but just something that people should be aware of.
I guess, is there any issue? Do you see any issue in the short term of doing that before
No,
FPSS?
no, no,
Cool.
no. Like this
Cool.
increase can happen and it's fine. Just people shouldn't, yeah, expect it forever to hold. Most likely it will, and it probably will, but there might be a feature where it will get decreased from, I don't know what kind of blob size you will have at that point.
Thank you. I see that we also moved CIP 35 to last call today. And this is one by Clib. I don't see in the call.
I moved it to last call. I think it's been in review for a
Yep.
while now.
Yep, this is header pruning for light nodes. Thank you, Callum. So the last call deadline there is right around the next core devs call that we'll be having. See a message in the chat from Marco. How has syncing been tested? Is it better than current network conditions for nodes trying to catch up? Is anyone able to speak on behalf of Rashid for that?
Is this the question related
Yeah.
to the 8 megabyte blocks?
Is that
Is
related,
this syncing for
Marco?
light clients or is this syncing for full nodes? Sorry, consensus nodes.
Full nodes.
Okay,
Yeah,
if
consensus.
it's syncing for consensus nodes, the main issue here is peer discovery. So if you have enough peers, you're able to saturate your bandwidth. So we fixed peer discovery, and that was included in v0.4.0.7, I think. So mainnet already has that now. If you're assuming that, I mean, most of the network just signaled, I think. So we can test this now. You should be able to find all the peers a lot faster, and you should be able to increase the number of peers that you have as well. So like if you're having trouble block syncing or state syncing, one of the other things that we're currently testing is increasing the default outgoing peers to 20 instead of 10. And that effectively doubles the number of peers. And again, assuming you can connect to enough peers, you can definitely saturate your bandwidth for block sync.
Does that help answer that, Marco? Thank you. Awesome. Are there any, I guess, any discussion, anyone have anything, questions about header pruning before we move on? Cool. I think that brings us to V4, which we now have an upgrade height for. We had about, I think, 88% right now. So someone signaled for the V4 upgrade, which means at height 6680339, we will have V4 activated on mainnet beta, which is really exciting. So I guess I want to thank all the engineers who worked on that and all the community and validators who made that possible. So we're looking, this is going to be a little bit sooner than it will actually activate. It should activate on the 29th, around really 7 days from an hour ago. So this is a good place to keep a tab on that. that's all I had for today. I'm curious. I do want to leave the floor open for discussion about anything else, like anything related to V4, anything related to stuff we've already discussed. If anyone has questions or topics they want to talk about.
I guess the only thing that might be kind of new is that we're trying to have like a shorter period between the major upgrades. So just for I guess node operators, for role developers as well, that V5 is planned to be shortly after V4, or not as much of a delay as V3 was, or as V4 was to V3.
And would that change just on mainnet? Because I know right now Mocha and Arabica are much shorter.
No, not changing the
Oh,
like delay,
sorry.
just in general.
Oh, you're not changing the delay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's any
That
change
makes
to the
sense.
delay. I'm just
Yeah.
sort of like thinking ahead. There's like a few CIPs already aimed at V5. And I think the plan is to have V5 a lot sooner than V4 was.
I guess on that note, thank you. Are we getting close to the point where we're almost ready for a meta CIP for V5?
Yeah, I think the plan is to have that sometime this week.
Sweet. I guess out of curiosity for the people who are not as directly involved, is there any place that, I guess, is there anything to track that? Are we waiting on the CIP for people to be able to follow along?
In terms of timelines or in terms of like the
Sorry,
scope
is
of
there
V5?
yeah, for the scope of V5, is there an existing issue on Celestia app that covers that?
Um, there are labels, if you want to go through the repo, that capture everything that's supposed to be targeting V5, although that's
Sweet.
quite a bit of detail. I think
Yeah,
for those just loosely following on, I think the meta CIP will be the best for that.
perfect. Thank you, Ritul, for that link. I'll just drop it here on the screen for 1 second. So yeah, these are all the things for Celestia app there in the V5 workstream. If you're following along, this might be a little bit too much in the weeds. So please keep an eye out for a meta CIP coming soon for V5. I think that's probably all we have today, unless anyone else has something else. Cool. Congrats everyone again on getting to V4, and we'll do another one of these in 2 weeks.
Thanks, Josh.
You're welcome. Sorry, let me get that. It'll be on the 5th of August at the same time. Thank you everyone for joining.
Sweet. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you, Margo.